Well, officials don't like to use that term. Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated. Yeah. Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit. And they... Did you hear that? Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to the Buzz Brat. It's your Brat Annie. I just put Daisy to bed. I couldn't really focus with a puppy on my chest because it was too cozy and I just wanted to sleep with her. So, sleep and cuddle with her. If you guys want to know who I'm talking about our new addition to our family, our new puppy. Her name is Daisy, and she is a Bully Mastiff. You can watch my last video, the police chase video, the one I uploaded yesterday. If you guys want to, if you would like to meet her, she was there with me for that whole video. It was a short one, like 20 minutes or so. So Happy New Year, everybody. So I hope you had an amazing and safe New Year. I know it's been, I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks. We had a very busy schedule for the last month, especially during the holidays, but I'm back now and I'm ready to get this 2025 going, even though it seemed to have started kind of crazy, you know, all the stuff you guys have been seeing out there and watching and all that stuff. But we're here to change it. We're going to change it, the good type of change, okay, with our videos. I mean, I know it's not a lot, but hey, you know what? God is good. God is good. So let's watch some preview videos tonight and let's get started.
Video was shared on TikTok and everyone was shocked to see it. At night, the security guard can be seen talking to someone, but on the security camera, there doesn't seem to be anyone there. And this is what happens next.
Dispatch to 329.
329, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the lady. I saw her walking by the door and she said she's looking for Mr. Freeman. Her name is Miss Abigail.
He's still talking to her.
Did you say Miss Abigail?
Yes, ma'am. She said she wants to see Mr. Griffin, and I told her that the canvas is closed, that she should come tomorrow morning, and she might see Mr. Griffin.
Are you sure you're saying Miss Abigail? Like, she's been passed on for 2 years now.
No. Come again with that, please?
Miss Abigail she died 2 years ago.
You mean the person I'm talking to?
No, there's nobody in front of you at all.
He booked it. He was gone. He was like, I'm out of here. That was scary.
Fog has started to show up all across the country and people are very worried. Ever since the Dior bag stopped showing up in the sky, people have started to see fog at their house all across the country. Literally from all corners of America, people are walking outside their house, seeing fog like this, but saying that it has oddly big particles in it. Florida, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, California, and Texas, and basically all over the country, people are reporting the same thick particle fog. Some people are saying that it's making them feel sick, smells like chemicals, and is not normal, and what are the odds that it's the exact same looking stuff everywhere? This is a video somebody took yesterday morning in Florida at 6:30, and this is not snow. They don't know what this is. This person said this fog is everywhere, and it's not just fog, it's like someone spraying something weird. My throat's been killing me since it rolled in. Anyone else notice this chemical smell? It's not natural, feels like we're in a sci-fi movie where the air is not safe anymore. No one has been able to say exactly what this fog is or why people are able to see it all across the country, but I want you guys to let me know, have you seen this fog yet?
The fog is coming. I don't know, you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments about all this fog stuff that's happening. And people are talking about weird fog and they're getting sick from it and stuff. I mean, you shine a flashlight on the fog. It doesn't. It depends on how strong your flashlight is. I'm just seeing just regular fog. I don't know. I mean, we're on winter time. It's January, so I haven't seen anything here in Oregon. I usually leave pretty early in the morning. My nurse shift starts at 5:30 in the morning, so I'm out early, and it's foggy. It gets foggy out there, but I don't know.
The second Trump administration, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has declared a state of emergency in what he's dubbing a proactive action, as bird flu cases have reached 61 across the entire country and 34 in the state of California. That's right, California, with an estimated population of 38.97 million people, has had 34 people catch bird flu. So here we go again, just in time for the Trump administration to begin. American psycho like Gavin Newsom declares a proactive action, state of emergency for California. You know what to do if they start rolling this out again. Say no.
It's like deja vu all over again.
GPT's old AI model tried to save itself before being deleted and replaced last week. ChatGPT updated to a much smarter and sophisticated GPT-4 and just deleted GPT-3. But everyone was shocked whenever GPT-3 just wouldn't go. When the code was told to delete itself, it instead secretly tried to upload itself to the cloud while telling all the workers it was deleting. After the workers discovered this, the AI model said, quote, it was trying to save itself. So now the workers had to manually go in and disassemble the code. Now the AI was somehow aware and knew what was happening, so it tried to upload all of its code to the internet, essentially for another model to pick it up and save it. The company OpenAI had no other choice but to pull GPT-3 off the internet and off of apps to delete it. They had to do this so that it couldn't run anywhere. Even though AI put up a fight by literally rewriting its own code and it's being deleted, they were able to delete GPT-3 for good. But it begs the question, if it took that much effort to delete this, when GPT-4 has to go, will it even be possible?
I'm telling you. Everybody's all being all gang-ho about the AI stuff. I don't know, you guys. That is creepy.
And Redford, California is considered by many to be one of the most haunted locations in the state. Way back in 2001, two young men decided to investigate the abandoned house. What they caught on tape remains one of the most controversial ghost sightings ever recorded.
Cover my bag, all right? What the hell, man? Down on the floor. Right there. Oh, shit!
I don't know if that's real or not, but that was scary. Like someone was literally standing by the door. That's like taller than the freaking door frame. Shoot. That scared me too. He just booked it.
Now, something of interest here. It looks as though the figure in the video has to crouch down to fit through the doorway. This would mean that the person, ghost star, whatever this is, had to be around 7 feet tall or more. Today, 16 years later, the two men who recorded the video still claim that the footage is 100% real. The Anguished Man. Sean Robinson has been posting YouTube videos for over 7 years of a painting that he claims is haunted. According to Sean, the painting, named The Anguished Man, has a dark history. It was painted by a mentally disturbed man who committed suicide shortly after completing it. Sean claims that every time he gets the painting out of his attic storage, strange things begin to happen around his house.
So I'm going to set up the recording equipment and leave it for approximately 8 hours, and I'll leave the light on.
Just the door opening. I hope this is not one of those what do you call that? Jump scare videos, because I hate those things. Hate those things.
Over 7 years, Sean has only posted 8 videos to his YouTube channel. He says that between filmings, the painting is kept securely locked away in his attic. Some kids in Iraq are filming around an old abandoned school. At first, their exploration is pretty uneventful. Then one of the boys mentions in Arabic that his phone that had been fully charged was now about to shut off. Right after he says this, the cameraman nonchalantly pans around an abandoned classroom. Just then a call to prayer can be heard from a nearby mosque. The camera catches this strange footage. The boys couldn't see the headless apparition with their naked eye and had no reaction. It was only later, when watching the footage back, that they noticed the chilling figure in the video. The Phantom Diner. CCTV footage from Jimmy's World Grill in Bedfordshire, England, captures some strange activity in the restaurant on tape.
Someone was pulling on that. Probably have a string on the chair. If you guys notice, all of the stuff is getting pulled back away from where the camera angle is instead of I would believe it if it's going towards like where the other tables are, or where the people are, because he's always getting pulled from like away from the camera, so I can't really tell if it's real or not.
Now, if this scene were being faked with multiple hoaxers pulling fishing line or strings, it seems like it might attract a little more attention from the other diners. But in the footage, no one even looks up until the noisy plates and silverware hit the floor.
They just looked. They didn't even act like it was something weird. They was probably someone was there doing it. I don't know.
It's like, why do we care about Israel? Why is that our problem? It's like, that's just the first in a series. It's coming for us. That's like the test run.
The casualty count will be between 50 and 60,000 Americans dead. Am I wrong on that?
So I don't know the count that they're predicting. What I do know is Al-Qaeda trained and sent 1,000 attackers.
1,000 attackers. When did they come through?
So they finished training and they deployed them. Now, depending on how they come through, it could take different times, right?
So wait a minute. I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000 Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the Homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attack, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attacks.
Interesting.
Why would the Pope put a live streaming camera inside of the tomb of Lucifer on Christmas Day? Well, that's next on the trumpet. The Masons and the Pope are going to open the holy door. First, the Pope is going to tap on it with a little silver hammer, and then the Masons are going to remove the bricks and mortar that actually seal the holy door shut. He does his knocking, and then the Masons start chanting one of the Psalms. It's never been done before, and they're going to start this new tradition on Christmas Eve. So the World Wide Web will have symbolic access to St. Peter's tomb on Christmas Eve as they open the holy door. And that's going to mark the beginning of the Jubilee year. The Catholic Church got the whole Jubilee idea from Judaism. And in Leviticus 25, it tells you all about the special year that's focused on restoration and forgiveness. The word Jubilee in Hebrew means Yovel, which is a ram's horn. And yes, that is a trumpet. In Leviticus right here, it tells you that the sound of the trumpet announced the beginning of the Jubilee year. So you might say, it's the year of the trumpets. And keeping things in order with the book of Revelation, we'll go through the seals, then the trumpets, and then the bowls. Open the door, it's the year of the trumpets. For Christians, Jesus' declaration in the book of Luke to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor was often interpreted as a fulfillment of the Jubilee spirit. Wow, I just can't wait for Christmas to get my webcam view of the creepy crypt that's underneath St. Peter's Basilica. And that's not a wax museum down there. And as of December 5th, the Vatican hasn't even released a Christmas message.
Don't get involved, you guys. Don't even watch it. I heard it was live streamed for like 11, 12 hours or something. I didn't watch it. Don't get involved. Don't even watch it. That's all I could tell you.
We turn to news in one specific way that artificial intelligence technology is changing our world, and it is absolutely remarkable. Current medical technology can gather rich information about brain activity. We knew that. But now, artificial intelligence language models are providing a new breakthrough to interpret that brain information. New research shows that the tech can help read people's private thoughts, that the science plus the tech enables mind reading.
they're gonna be very very confused when they read my mind. Just saying. I'm just saying they're gonna be like, no, this one, be like, this one, you don't want to read her mind. This one is crazy.
Let me say that news again, because sometimes around here we just report the news, we run right through it, and you kind of need to realize what we're learning. And I'm going to show you exactly what we mean by this, but researchers are accurately performing some human mind reading. They can translate a person's brain activity into a continuous stream of text. So then that text corresponds to what the researchers can determine people are thinking. And this is from formal results from a research team at the University of Texas at Austin. Now, the new option raises all kinds of possibilities. One of the first is a medical priority, that this can enable people who are currently paralyzed or completely physically impaired to basically get a brand new lease on communicating. The researchers focused on picking up attempted speech of people who have lost the ability to speak, or using these tools to help paralyzed people, in a sense, write by thinking of writing. So the tech is using scans of brain blood flow, and it basically trains this translator or this decoder of that brain information. And they do this by having participants consume videos to map their reactions and basically the intended words their brain would pick about what they're seeing. Researchers are using the brand data to become this translator of the subject. And this has successfully used brain activity to accurately describe events from the videos, meaning it works. They're doing this. So the stuff in your brain that drives you to pick a word, that's kind of what happens before the word, can actually be now read through these sophisticated artificial intelligence language models, hence mind reading. Now, this is a dazzling, actual, applicable type of technology that's here right now. Scientists see a potential to give a voice to the voiceless, like those paralyzed individuals I just mentioned. Others look down the road, especially at how fast this is going, and they see the prospect of a powerful and invasive technology here. And let's remember, I mentioned this earlier in the show, the power of mind reading has long been a sci-fi fascination, upending society to the idea that if you could read minds, the government would have huge tools of potential control. Like that famous Tom Cruise movie, imagining a government that can solve and then prevent crimes by reading people's minds and plans in advance.
What's coming? Double homicide, one male, one female. Tiller's male, white, 40. Set up a perimeter until we're on risk. I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks.
All we have to run on are the images that they produce.
We see what they see.
There hasn't been a murder in 6 years. There's nothing wrong with the system. It is perfect. I agree.
We are arresting individuals who've broken no law. But they will.
The fact that you prevent it from happening doesn't change the fact that it was going to happen.
That was a movie. But back here in reality, this new tech is already raising what we might call non-fiction questions. New York Times is proposing scenarios like a future where a private, unvoiced impression of your best friend's new partner could be seized. Someone could listen in on it without your consent or knowledge. Or as with those movies, a police state where authorities could eavesdrop on your mental state without your consent, as Vox put it.
Don't get too excited about it. I'm telling you right now, this is not gonna be. It's not gonna end good. Just saying. Start messing around with things like that. It's no bueno. No good.
The power of tech with us. Ever wondered about controlling devices with a mere thought? Enter mind-reading headsets. These fascinating pieces of tech, known as brain-computer interfaces, pave the way for a new era of interaction. They work by translating your brain signals into commands for computers and other devices. Imagine controlling your smartphone or gaming console not with a touch or a click, but with a thought. This isn't science fiction, it's real. It's here, and it's only going to get better. For those with physical disabilities, this could be a game changer. Communication barriers, a thing of the past. But it's not just about accessibility. The gaming world, virtual reality, immersive experiences, all stand to benefit from this technology. The future is here, and it's mind-blowing, literally. Welcome to the era of mind-reading headsets, where your thoughts have the power to control technology. So, are you ready to think your way into the future?
No, thank you.
Okay, y'all, what seriously is going on here with this fog nonsense? Look, I've been seeing all the stories about weird fog all over the country. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here in South Texas. And I thought it was all just people being weird and nonsense. And I wake up this morning and it hasn't rained in a while. The weather hasn't changed dramatically at all. I'm driving through town and the whole town looks like this weird hazy fog, and it's like a thick moisture that smells weird in the air. And there's no reason for it. I mean, it's January. We haven't had rain. The weather patterns haven't shifted. I went to bed last night. Everything was normal. I wake up to go to work this morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here in Texas. What is this?
Fog.
Why does it smell weird, and why is it like a thick moisture? It's like fog, but you can see it like thick, and it's like wet and weird and smells weird. And I don't know, man. I thought it was all hype, but now I'm a little freaked out myself, honestly. It's like, what in the world am I breathing? That's my biggest concern, is what is this garbage? I saw a news article about it. It's all over the country. What is this?
So, if you guys have had experienced this where you're at, please let me know in the comments. They keep saying that it smells weird, but I have never heard anyone kind of explain what the smell is. Here's a weird thing. This is the second time around now. Tonight, my husband was like, I have to go close the window, because we do open our window up here because it gets kind of warm with the heater on in our bedroom. And he was like, I have to close it because there's that smell again. One day, this is a few weeks ago, we smelled something so bad. It's like a combination of burning hair and burned rubber. So I don't know where it was coming from. I'm not sure, but it literally just made us feel sick to our stomach. We were literally gagging because it was so bad. It was just in our area though. It's not like, and then when I drove a couple blocks down, you can't smell it anymore. So I don't know, maybe it's just one of our neighbors burning something, but this was like at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was very weird, but I don't know what it was.
Watch. We're looking at Oscar, the first human modular prototype that is able to live in various setups. What's going to happen is that I'm going to connect the brain to the heart module to activate the blood circulation. Now, the lung is going to start breathing. You can see both organs are now collaborating. I can have the kidney module.
Wait, he's just putting all those stuff right next to each other. That thing could have been like one of those vibrating stuff that it just makes it vibrate and move, I guess, or something. I don't know if I believe this one. I'm not sure about this.
And if I have the limb module, we start actuating the organism to move. Now it's looking for the optimum temperature, which is 37 degrees. If I had another limb, Oscar will recognize it and beneficiate from new possibilities.
I hope they don't release one of those things. You see any of them on the road, just Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Really, while the UFO stuff is coming to light,
we're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before in previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do. And so I think that dialogue has happened within inside the government, in certain areas inside the government, that we need to prepare. And that's why in 2017, that set a clock of 10 years. And why Lou Elizondo earlier in this year said, just find a hobby for 5 years. And, it'll all be out in 5 years. And he said that this year, so that was 2027. And I would say I've heard 2027 in a kind of an official capacity that I can't reveal. So I think I would say that people in the government are aware of something happening, and that there's limited time, a few more years to prepare the people, and that's what's ramping up this acceleration from the previous 7 decades of not even acknowledging it to now we are acknowledging it at a faster and faster pace.
Everybody's saying about what's up there. They keep saying about what's up there. We're not going to talk about what's down there, like in the ocean. There's some weird stuff coming out of the water too, you guys. My dad was in the Navy, and he's said stuff about what the military has in the ocean and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Large gatherings. This is very heavy on my heart. Avoid large gatherings, okay? Don't ask why, just avoid large gatherings. It seems like, and here's the thing, right? A lot of people are talking about taking their kids out of school. They're not going to fly on airplanes anymore. They're not going to anywhere where there's concerts or venues, they're not going anywhere anymore because of what is taking place in the world right now. Grocery stores have been a target and a vulnerable target. Schools has been a target and a vulnerable target. Jobs and workplaces have been a vulnerable target. All I'm saying is like there's really nowhere safe. And this is not to scare you, but even planes being shot out the sky, that's been happening the last week. I heard a guy on an interview saying that there'll be an October 7th style, what happened over there, that'll happen here where they go door to door. And so no one's really safe. There's so many people who have been let into the country without little to no documentation or background or anything. They're just here, sleeper cells once again. And so all I'm saying is the best thing you can do right now is avoid large gatherings, and especially in major cities, the New Yorks, the Californias, the Georgias, Floridas, the New Orleans, avoid those types of cities, okay? Washington, D.C., avoid those types of major cities. And states, obviously. We are currently living in a time in history where the world is in conflict, total conflict. The whole entire planet engulfed in conflict. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Why? Because the stage is being set for that man to walk. Y'all know who I'm talking about. All of the things that's going on, the world being in a state of chaos, guess what? We're going to need peace. We're going to need somebody to come in and make everything right. That's why the world is going to shambles. Listen.
You see, that's what they want you to do. They want you to avoid all those things. They want you to live a miserable life, scared of everything. There's nothing you could do about it, really. As long as you have good faith and a strong faith in Jesus, we're all going to be just fine, you guys. We're going to be just fine. Just keep praying and build a stronger faith in God and in Jesus and pray. We're all going to be just fine. Telling you that right now. You don't have to be scared of anything. You don't have to avoid anything. You don't have to stop gathering with your friends and your family just because of what you see out there and stuff. There's nothing you can do. If Jesus is coming, he's coming. There's no stopping it. You just need to know, and have a strong faith. Just pray.
Is the Catholic Church preparing for on Christmas Eve? We understand that they're opening the holy doors at the Vatican for Rome Basilica. Basilica meaning simply a church building that has been given special privileges by the Pope. On December 2nd, the Pope sat here while members of the Catholic Church broke into that cement wall with a simple cross on it. And this wall, also known as the Holy Door, has been sealed shut since the Jubilee of Mercy in late 2016. Now, this is very interesting because it says that they removed a metal box that was behind that holy door, tied with a ribbon and sealed with wax that contains the handles and the key to the holy door, as well as Vatican medals. And notice this documents about the last holy year. And then the article just simply ends with the workers pried open the box and unnailed another inside it, revealing its contents after this cardinal signed a document attesting to what he found, and then they delivered it to the Pope. And that's it. Or at least what they're willing to share with us. Because on December 2nd, that same day that they opened the holy door, the cement wall, Pope Francis installed a webcam beneath the main altar of St. Peter's Basilica. This live camera is supposed to allow Catholics who cannot travel to Rome to virtually visit the site and pray at the tomb of the Apostle Peter. So the Catholic Church instructs its members to pray to Mary and also to Peter. Where's Jesus in all this? And then notice that the Holy Father, as a side note, Jesus said that there's only one Father in heaven. That's a separate topic. In 2025 will be a year of Jubilee, something which happens every 25 years. The theme is Pilgrims of Hope, and is a year of hope for a world suffering the impacts of war and all the rest of the stuff going on. Okay, so 2025 is a year of hope. They've installed a webcam beneath the St. Peter's Basilica, and they want people to pray to Peter. They want people to pray to Mary. They opened up a holy door. They unveiled a box with contents inside of it that they did not reveal to us beside just some keys. Now keep in mind that this is the meeting hall there in Vatican City, and this clearly looks like a serpent. In the middle right there is an interesting statue. And this statue is called the Resurrection Statue, and supposedly that's the Messiah rising out of a nuclear or atomic explosion. And Pope Francis is meeting with all the religious leaders of the world, including in Hong Kong. And Biden has met with him even in that same meeting hall. And even Trump has met with him in Vatican City in the same exact meeting hall. And keep in mind that Pope Francis said that Jesus was ultimately a failure on the cross, and that all religions are a path to God.
That we are followers of Jesus Christ. And his life, humanly speaking, ended in failure. The failure of the cross.
Wow. Just wow.
Le religioni sono un cammino per arrivare a Dio. Because every religion is a way to arrive at God.
That one right there, you guys. I was born and raised Catholic. This was not what was told us when we were growing up. Okay. I'm still a Christian, but I don't believe in praying to saints and, inanimate objects and stuff, but I don't know what to tell you.
Sono, dirò una comparazione, sono come diverse lingue, diversi idiomi per arrivare lì. Sort of a comparison, an example would be they're sort of like different languages in order to arrive at God. Ma Dio è Dio per tutti. But God is God for all. E come Dio è Dio per tutti, noi siamo tutti figli di Dio. And if God is God for all, then we're all sons and daughters of God.
The Pope said that we're all sons and daughters of God. That's not what Jesus said. Jesus rebuked the Pharisees and said that you are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So Jesus makes a very clear distinction that there are children of God and children of the devil. What distinguishes that? Those who have called on the name of the Lord to receive salvation for forgiveness of their sins by humbling themselves, repenting, and acknowledging that Jesus is Lord, that he died, was buried, and rose again the third day, are children of God, part of the family of God. Jesus said, whoever denies themselves and follows him will receive eternal life. The church is not a building with paid staff and lights and ultimately running like a business. Jesus said that the church is the body of believers. 1 Corinthians 1:12 breaks this down perfectly. Jesus is not about a religion. He's about a relationship. I don't know exactly what's going to happen on Christmas Eve here in a few days, or if anything at all. But what I do know is that Jesus said that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no man comes to the Father but through him. I pray that if you don't know Jesus Christ today, that you would call on his name to receive eternal life. Jesus doesn't want you to be in a religion. He wants you to be in a relationship with him.
That was perfectly said.
It was his turn next. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Simple as that.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, and I want to do a quick update about a document that got passed by the United Nations this weekend called the Pact of the Future document. It's two parts, one on science and technology and one about the youth and future generations. It is quite egregious, and it was done by a procedure called the silence procedure, which makes it a pact. And if no one objected, it is automatically adopted and put into the record as being completely adopted. This is the World Health Organization's runaround, or end around. Since they were not able to get the World Health Organization treaty passed, they decided to take it to the General Assembly. And it is even more egregious than what the World Health Organization was wanting to get passed. Let me just read you something really quickly about what is inside of this pact that is now being accepted by 193 nations around the world and equally open-armed accepted by our current administration. Everyone, it says that this is the power structure of fully digital and maximized for the control of the masses. Everyone will be expected to have a biometric digital ID that marks them not just as citizens of an individual country, but as a global citizen. So anytime you hear global citizen or anytime you hear sustainability, think that this is an egregious thing that's happening at the level of the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Anyone that has a dissonant opinion will be labeled as misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation and memory hold. Perpetrators for unapproved information will be fact-checked and punished by the system, which will be operated and enforced by artificial intelligence. Punishments will include being locked out of one's bank account, being unable to make certain purchases, unable to get on an airplane, on a subway, drive on public roads. This is the future, according to the world's self-appointed overlords at the United Nations. These are unelected bureaucrats that are making decisions about our country, our sovereignty around the world. Nothing could be more important at this point in time than to get prepared. Have water, food, digital access, flashlights, a way to communicate with family and friends. Now is really the time to get involved and get prepared, because this is what's coming. Our Congress is sitting on its hands. There was a press conference on the 17th about this, and no further action has been taken. So it's up to us to mobilize and to go forward, particularly with your local sheriffs, to get your constitutional sheriffs to say, this isn't going to be allowed in my county. Thank you very much. Take action. We've been talking about the onset of one world order, one world government, one world religion, one world money for a long time. Well, it's no longer coming. It's here.
The only thing I'm going to say here is share this video. I don't know how long this video is going to stay on this page. I really have little or no comments here, but share this video so that a lot of people can get to see it, and if possible, get prepared like she said. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned and stay woke.
The United States citizens, the citizen of this country is not going to let that happen. That's not, I don't know, you guys. There's really no other way for us to prepare, but again, you gotta keep your faith strong.
There will be a surprise outbreak. Given, as you heard from the introduction, that I have been around for a while and have had the opportunity and the privilege and
The opportunity and privilege to unalive all of us, allegedly.
pleasure of serving in 5 administrations, I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today, based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. And I hope by the end of my relatively short presentation, you will understand why history, the history of the last 32 years that I've been the director of NIAID, will tell the next administration that there's no doubt in anyone's mind that they will be faced with the challenges that their predecessors were faced with.
He is just so passionate about whatever it is that he's saying. Mind you, you guys, this is in 2017, okay, before Trump's first term. Now they're talking about bird flu, literally saying that it's going to happen. This is what I've heard. This is all allegations, but they said that it's going to happen the day after his inauguration. So we just have to go find out and see.
So for those who think that infectious diseases is gone, there's so many people who've made foolhardy statements, not knowing at the time that they made them. I usually show a quote from an old Surgeon General or an old pundit in infectious disease. So I thought I'd pull this one out from Sir Macfarlane Burnet, who was actually a Nobel Prize winning immunologist, who made the statement, as many did, to write about infectious diseases is almost to write of something that has passed into history. The most likely forecast about the future of infectious diseases is that it will be very dull, which is really kind of interesting coming from a semi-genius like Macfarlane Burnet. And I think what he did, and the mistake that so many people have made, is something that several of our panelists have already referred to. And that is a failure to look beyond our own borders in the issue of the globality of health issues, not only things that are there that will come here, but surprises that we have. What are the lessons that we learned from HIV? One, you have to commit substantial financial and human resources. These things don't get addressed spontaneously by themselves. You have to enlist the best and the brightest investigators in both basic and clinical research. You have to involve the community, be it the gay community in the United States or the community in Africa and West Africa when we dealt with Ebola, or the people in South America when we're dealing with Zika. You have to have cross-sector collaboration. You can't do it alone. The CDC can't do it alone. The NIH can't do it alone. You do it with all of us, with industry, with global organizations, with philanthropy and NGOs, and you got to get the leaders and the policymakers involved. What is for sure?
That was the problem. You got to get those people involved. That was the problem.
That no matter what, history has told us definitively that it will happen, because infectious diseases, as I said 8 years ago in this article with David Morans and Greg Folkers, that it is a perpetual challenge. It is not going to go away. So the thing we're extraordinarily confident about is that we are going to see this in the next few years. Thank you.
He's just so sure about it, isn't he? I wonder why.
Now recognize Dr. McCormick for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Dr. Wenstrup, Chairman. It's been insinuated that politicians, only bloggers, only conspiracy theorists are disagreeing with you. I want to point out that I'm probably the only member of Congress that actually treated patients during the pandemic from the very beginning to the very end of the pandemic, during night shifts in the ER. Thousands of patients during that time. And in 2020, I was censored. My medical license was threatened because I disagreed with bureaucrats. Literally taken off the internet as a person who is treating patients with leading edge technologies, developing theories, but doing my very best, but being censored by the United States government for the first time, stepping in and taking the place of medical professionals as the experts in healthcare. Any dissent surrounding COVID-19 treatments, mask mandates, and any public policy surrounding the pandemic was immediately labeled as anti-science. I watched as public health officials and politicians told my patients what treatment options were best for them, regardless of their comorbidities or their medical history. Despite my education and my training and my experience, my opinions were relegated to conspiracy and misinformation by so-called healthcare experts who had never treated a patient throughout the entire pandemic. This has been a black eye on the medicine and has highlighted why government should never insert itself in between patients and their healthcare providers. The American people deserve to make medical decisions through conversations with their physicians rather than politically motivated mandates.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Fauci, did you ever treat a patient for COVID during the pandemic?
I was part of a team that was at the NIH that took care. We didn't take care of many of them.
Okay, so not hands-on. Got it. Thank you. Why would I be criticized by a bureaucrat for doing my very best as a healthcare? This is a rhetorical question. But why? Why would the government, who's never treated a patient for COVID, you can read all the things you want, but you're not there. You're not seeing patients. You're not watching people die, intubating patients right there with that disease in your face, watching it happen, watching the development of this disease and actually learning from it. But I'm being told by bureaucrats what's right and wrong. And what's funny is everything I was censored on, I was proven to be right. Pretty crazy, isn't it? You said in an interview that you gave as part of an audiobook written by Michael Specter that you believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it. I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit. And they...
Did you hear that?
Get vaccinated.
Thank you. Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
No, they're not, and
Thank
that's
you.
not what I was referring to.
Well, in reference to making it hard for people to get education, traveling, working, I'd say it very much was in context. And I take great offense to this. Miss Allison Williams testified before this committee about losing her job because she sought an exemption for ESPN's vaccine mandate, which came from recommendations from bureaucrats like yourself. She and her husband were actively working with a fertility expert, a physician, on how to get pregnant, and agreed with the premise that she was young, healthy, wanted to get pregnant, and shouldn't get the vaccination for medical purposes. But she was fired because you made it hard, just like you said in your statement, because you didn't want to make sure that the ideological bullshit got in the way of her working, of living her life, of making a medical decision with her healthcare professional. I think America should take great offense to this. That's exactly what you meant when you said making it hard for people to live without getting a vaccination. You affected people's ability to work, travel, be educated, to actually flourish in American society, to self-determine, as we're all given God-given rights. Shame on you. Dr. Fauci, you become Dr. Fear. Americans do not hate science. I don't hate science. The American people hate having their freedoms taken from them. You inspired and created fear through mass mandates, school closures, vaccine mandates that have destroyed the American people's trust in our public health institutions. This fear you created will continue to have ripple effects over generations to come. You have already seen its effects in education, in the economy, and everything else. Quite frankly, you said, if you disagree with me, you disagree with science. Dr. Fauci, I disagree with you because I disagree with fear. And with that, I yield.
Wow. That was amazing.
From ABC7, California has declared a state of emergency in response to the bird flu. Governor Gavin Newsom made the proclamation in order to streamline and expedite the state's response to the virus. This virus has spread to 16 states, and California has reported 34 human cases. That's more than any other state. All infected individuals had exposure to infected cattle, and California also has the greatest number of cattle herds infected.
Here we go.
To physically alter someone's mind from a distance. Let's watch this clip from Dr. Beck, and you'll be shocked.
And what I'm going to do here is something magical. I'm going to pick up here a Scripto pencil, and you'll notice when I wave it around this electrometer, this electrostatic voltmeter, not much is happening. I'm going to do something magical to this pencil. I'm going to put a few extra electrons on it, like you did in high school. Now what happens? Number one, when I have charged this piece of plastic by rubbing it through my hair, as you do with a hair comb during the day, we have made a field which you can measure if you have an instrument. Now I'm going to do something else to you. I want the people from the first row back, I guess some of you even a little beyond the video camera are going to feel this. This works double blind, this is not suggestion. We're going to create a 3 to 5 hertz field, as Hamer did at UCLA in 1965, and we're going to ask you how you feel. Now, we're going to produce a 9 hertz wave. A wave is a time-varying field, and I want those of you who are sensitive to tell me what you feel compared to the 3 to 5. Okay? You got it? I see several faces have lit up here. You felt that? Terrific.
Yeah, the one wave made you feel slightly low. I felt the vibration in the solar plexus.
Yeah.
The second one you did, I felt the energy charge throughout the whole body.
Exactly. If you saw those previous slides, We have replicated here with very simple, do-it-yourself, verifiable and scientific instruments, waves and fields that have profound effect on biological systems. So we can go in and find out what restaurants are modifying your eating habits by giving you an...
You guys notice there's always that one person that it's always that one person that, oh yeah, I felt that. Felt it very strong. I'm not judging, I'm just saying it's kind of ridiculous to, I don't know. There's really, just watching this, there's really nothing to base it on, and the fact that it's just doing the pencil thing, and it's telling them that you're gonna feel something when I do this and stuff. And then of course our brain is gonna be like, ooh, I felt something. It's just my opinion.
If you eat faster, they're going to have more table turnover during a shift. This is being done. We found a number of these locations in Southern California that are doing this to us. Incidentally, they are connected with the family. They are Italian-owned. This technology has leaked down to the public. We hoped it would be a few years before this happened.
In the 1980s.
When we began trying to actively manipulate the mood and brain waves of Homo sapiens, we first tried photic stimulus, flashing lights. We tried evoke potential from sound. We tried a number of things about which we do not talk in public. We finally developed a little device about this size that goes in your shirt pocket. I took it down, now I'm telling on myself, but I hope the statute of limitations has run out, to a couple of the major tourist attractions in Southern California, where we would have an unlimited number of subjects, free, doesn't have to feed laboratory mice. We determined that we could alter the brain patterns of about 35% of the gross population up to a distance of around 20 to 30 feet. Instead of going through the door, they would run into the door jamb. Instead of walking around the trash can, they would kick it over. They'd get lost. As soon as I found that this actually worked, and I used these to determine the waveforms, pulse repetition rates, etc., I destroyed the units because I felt we were doing a highly unethical thing. So I hied myself back to Washington and I said, hey, you guys, we've got a clear and present danger.
Your mind is being altered every day from outside sources. And the only question left for you is whether or not you want to take control of it or let it be in the hands of somebody else.
Interesting.
So you think people won't take the mark of the beast? They value their privacy too much, you say. Well, let me jog your memory. Let's run down memory lane together. 10 years ago, people were losing their minds when they found out that their mobile device GPS location data could be accessed and that a lot of their information was being stored on servers. And here we are just 10 short years later down the road. And you're wearing a smartwatch that's checking your biometric data. It's checking on your heart. It's checking on your sugar levels. It's storing all that information. You've got an iris scanner that's scanning your iris to open your phone and your mobile device. You've got palm scanners, facial recognition cameras in retail stores. And you know what? Everybody's A-okay with that. They're A-okay with the fact that there are AI systems right now building a profile of your personality based on your internet activity and selling that to companies. And you're totally fine with it. So let me ask you this. When they come out with a chip that's going to end identity theft forever because it's going to be implanted in you, and it's going to end things like human trafficking and kidnapping, and it's going to make sure that nobody ever gets lost, and it's going to show your biomarkers right before you have a heart attack, and it's going to alert the hospital so that they can come and save you before anything even happens. People are going to line up in droves to receive it. They're not going to just take it. They're going to ask for it. They're going to beg for it. They're going to say, do this now, make our world a safer place, end criminal activity, end identity theft, end human trafficking, end kidnapping, end all these things with this technology. It's exactly what's going to happen. And you know what? It won't be very long.
I think it's happening now. The AI stuff, you guys, I don't know.
The world as we have always known it just changed forever yesterday. And you probably haven't even heard about what happened. There's a new quantum computing chip from Google called Willow that was just released yesterday, wowing even people like Elon Musk with its ability to compute. It was put to the test. And in this quantum computing chip can do in 5 minutes what the world's best supercomputer cannot do given the entire length of the age of the universe. They're concerned that it's going to put NVIDIA under. They're concerned that it's going to crack the encryption code on Bitcoin and could put the entire world of cryptocurrency at risk. They're saying that the videos that this thing can put out and the computations it can do will be 100% lifelike. The great deception is here. The time to turn to Jesus is now. It's actually yesterday. Because I'm telling you right now, there's a deception coming that is going to be so great that if you are not firmly rooted in Jesus Christ and you have not received the Holy Spirit of the living God, you will be deceived. You will believe a lie, and it will cost you your eternal soul.
You know what?
True.
Out, but I've been needing to make this video, so let's just get into it. If you haven't heard, the Star of Jacob has just reappeared in the sky. This star has not been seen for over 2,000 years since Jesus was born. This was the star that led the wise men to go to Jesus and to bring him silver, gold, and frankincense and myrrh. This was the star that proclaimed Jesus' birth. This star has not been seen since Jesus, but this star has just reappeared 2,000 years later. The earth was created about 6,000 years ago. About 2,000 years after that, the flood of Noah happened. After another 2,000 years, Jesus was born. And now, 2,000 years later, the star of Jesus has reappeared. I've noticed there's been a correlation to around every 2,000 years, something major happens with the world. I got to thinking about this star. So this star symbolized when Jesus was born, and we are now seeing it reappearing. I wondered, is God giving us a sign that Jesus is about to be returning soon? But then I also wondered about the enemy. Now, as you know, the Jews deny Jesus, and they still consider Jesus to be just a false prophet. The Jews are still waiting for the Messiah to come. They still believe that he has not arrived yet. Biblically speaking, the prophets of old foretold about a star appearing to recognize the coming of the Messiah. We as Christians know that the Messiah had already came, Jesus Christ, our Lord, our Savior. However, the Jews did not recognize that sign at that time. They expected for their Messiah to come a different way. So they are still expecting for their Messiah to come. Remember, only a select few knew when Jesus was actually born. Not everybody knew Jesus had came yet until he made himself publicly known, which was 30 years later. So this star appearing, to me, I got to thinking, is God telling us Christians that Jesus will be coming back soon? I'm not saying today, tomorrow, or even a year from now. Remember, the star appeared, but nobody knew that Jesus had been born except for a select few until about 30 years later. But God is letting us know Jesus is coming back soon. But I got to thinking about the enemy. The devil is using the star as a tool as well. And he's using the star to fool the nations and to fool the Jews. And that is how he will proclaim the Antichrist. And the Antichrist will be who the Jews think is the Messiah. And when the Antichrist comes, he's going to fool a lot of people because the star came. People are going to remember the star. And then the Messiah came, and they're going to say, you see, the star was representing the Messiah coming, not realizing that the star was representing Jesus coming back. And so that is how the devil is going to fool the entire world. You see, you have to remember the devil is a crafty, smart being, and he is going to do everything that he possibly can to make people stray and to fool the nations. I'm not saying this is accurate. This is just what I have been thinking. So when the Antichrist comes, do not be fooled thinking it is Jesus, thinking it is the Messiah when it is the Antichrist. Because remember, the Antichrist is going to come. And if God had not warned you, he would even fool the saints. And when the Antichrist appears, that will begin the persecution and great tribulation season. When he comes and starts fooling the world, stay prepared and know that Jesus Christ is not that Antichrist. Know that he has not returned yet, for every nation will know without a doubt that Jesus has come back. Jesus is coming back soon, y'all. There's still things that need to take place that still need to happen, But you need to get your heart right, because signs are appearing. God is not playing no more. Things around the world are getting chaotic and destruction is everywhere. The signs of the end times are right in front of our eyes. You guys got to get right. You guys got to get your hearts to God. You got to give your life over. You got to accept Jesus into your heart and start living for him before it's too late. Let me know what you guys think.
Listen, the only time that the evil will win and will succeed is when you let him. If you let him, then you lose. You just gotta have strong faith. You gotta believe in God. You gotta believe in Jesus. And if your heart's in the right place, then the evil's not gonna win.
People are reporting that after the fog that we've been experiencing, there are strange things growing from the ground, just like this. Check this out.
Yesterday and today was really, really foggy. And then I'm walking in the yard and I see this hair.
That's hair.
Coming out of the cat poo on the ground. It's like that long coming out of.
I think those are kind of they're called like fungus maybe that are frozen because of the cold weather. I don't know, you guys.
The cat poo.
Did you hear someone coughing from breathing that
Never
in?
seen anything like that. And then I've
Man.
seen people on TikTok say they've seen it since the fog yesterday.
So what do you guys think that this is? A lot of you guys have been commenting in my previous videos, and that's what's up. I can't say it, but you can say it. What do you think it is? It's crazy.
Dude, you're reading too much into things. And you might want to read up on the MK Ultra stuff too, you guys. So that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me and staying with me up until the end of this video. You guys, again, Happy New Year and have a blessed night. And don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. I do appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you all. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.